Malala Yousafzai, I Am Malala, the story of the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. Dive into the compelling journey of Malala Yousafzai, the formidable young woman who defied oppressive forces to champion the right to education. In I Am Malala, we trace Malala's early life in Pakistan's picturesque yet challenged Swat Valley, where her passion for learning was sparked by her activist father. This summary unveils Malala's transformation from an ordinary girl to a beacon of hope, driven by her steadfast belief in educational equity. Key themes include resilience in the face of cultural and extremist threats, the power of speaking out against oppression, and the pivotal role of education in societal advancement. You'll discover how Malala's bravery amidst adversity inspires global awareness and action, underscoring her enduring legacy and the universal right to education.
Humble beginnings, towering impact. From a simple village in Pakistan's Swat Valley, Malala Yousafzai's journey to global recognition is nothing short of extraordinary. Born on July 12, 1997, in the picturesque yet impoverished village of Mingora, Malala's early life was marked by simplicity. Her family resided in a modest two-room shack, with no running water or bathroom facilities. Meals were prepared outdoors over a wood fire, embodying the hard realities of rural life. Despite these challenges, Malala was part of the proud Pashtun ethnic group, renowned for their resilience, hospitality, and adherence to Pashtunwali, a traditional code of values. In this patriarchal society, the birth of a daughter is often met with disappointment. However, Malala's father defied these norms, celebrating the birth of his daughter with joy traditionally reserved for sons. He requested friends to shower her cradle with sweets and coins, signifying his commitment to nurturing her potential in a culture that prized male offspring. This unconventional beginning not only highlighted her father's unique vision but also planted the seeds for Malala's future impact. Malala's story reminds us that greatness often emerges from the most unassuming circumstances. Her life exemplifies how steadfast support and a belief in one's potential can break down the barriers imposed by tradition and poverty. As we reflect on Malala's upbringing, we witness the formative forces that shaped her into a fearless advocate for education and women's rights, capturing hearts and minds around the world. Roots of courage. Malala was deeply influenced by her father, Syed Yousafzai, an inspiring educator and activist. His unyielding belief in the transformative power of education became the cornerstone of his teachings, despite facing significant challenges himself. Overcoming the lack of his own father's support, Syed pursued his education with determination, living with relatives to realize his dream of becoming a teacher. For Syed, education was not only crucial for personal growth but also the solution to Pakistan's societal issues. His conviction that everyone deserves access to learning became a lesson Malala embraced wholeheartedly. While at university, Syed's journey wasn't just academic, it was also deeply intertwined with activism. As General Secretary of the Pashtun Students' Federation, he passionately campaigned for equal rights for Pashtun. His commitment to equality shone through, undeterred by a speech impediment, earning him a reputation as a compelling speaker. This fervor brought him into frequent clashes with more conservative student organizations, such as the Islami Hayat Talaba. One notable moment was Syed's response to the controversy surrounding Salman Rushdie's The Satanic Verses. Instead of succumbing to the conservative demand for a ban on the book, Syed challenged the opposition to read the work and respond intellectually, highlighting his belief in reasoned discourse over censorship. This stance against closed-mindedness and for open discussion left a lasting mark on Malala, igniting her own desire to challenge injustices and seek positive change. Through his actions, Syed instilled in Malala the courage to question the status quo and the vision to believe in education as a tool for transformation and empowerment. An ordinary hero. As a typical child, Malala shared the same aspirations and imperfections as any young girl, yet her journey to become an extraordinary advocate began early on. With her friend Safina, she experienced the usual childhood rivalries and misunderstandings, such as when a lost pink toy cell phone led to mutual suspicion and petty acts of theft. This experience, though painful, did not result in punishment. Instead, her father, Ziauddin, offered her solace and wisdom, sharing stories of great leaders who had faltered yet persevered. This nurturing guidance, paired with Malala's growing awareness of the inequities surrounding her, sparked a desire within her to help those in need. When she witnessed the dire conditions of children living in a rubbish dump, Malala implored her father to enroll them in the school he had established. Understanding the complexities, Ziauddin explained that these children were crucial supporters of their families, and attending school might disrupt their livelihoods. Despite the practical limitations, Ziauddin supported Malala's empathy-driven initiative, appealing to a philanthropist to spread awareness about educational rights through leaflets. Malala's early empathetic experiences shaped her journey, fueling her determination to advocate for equality and education. Her profound connection to the struggles of those around her catalyzed a lifelong mission towards activism, inspiring her to seek meaningful ways to make a difference. Swat's tumultuous transformation. In Swat, a profound shift began as radical ideologies encroached on everyday life, jeopardizing Malala's education and the freedoms of its people. The Taliban, an Islamic extremist faction once ruling Afghanistan, made its foothold in Swat after being forced out post-2001 by the U.S. intervention following the 9/11 attacks. The year 2005 marked a turning point with a devastating 7.6 magnitude earthquake, likened to 3.8 megatons of dynamite, which rocked Pakistan, sparking further turmoil. In the quake's aftermath, influential Islamic clerics claimed it was divine retribution, urging adherence to strict Islamic law to avert more calamities. Leading this surge of fundamentalism was Maulana Fazlullah, who seized on the widespread illiteracy by launching Radio Mullah, a platform broadcasting the imposition of severe moral codes. This broadcast not only condemned dancing and cinema but crucially declared that girls, including Malala, should be barred from school. Despite her confusion and distress, Malala clung to her understanding of Islam, which championed the education of all children. These stirring times threatened to rewrite her destiny, as Radio Mullah's messages began to sway public opinion, compelling many toward a different path. Malala's bold stand. Despite the obvious dangers, Malala courageously raised her voice against the Taliban's oppressive rule in Pakistan's Swat Valley. As the threat escalated with Mullah Fazlullah's rise in power, Taliban decrees soon banned girls from attending school, effective 2009. Defiant, Malala began documenting her experiences for BBC Urdu under the pseudonym Gul Makai. Her writings captured the harsh realities faced by many, including the destruction of 400 schools and the public execution of girls for seeking education or engaging in activities deemed inappropriate by the Taliban. In her powerful diary entries, Malala found inspiration in Anne Frank's story, aiming to illuminate the world about unimaginable injustices. The public attention her writing garnered led the New York Times to produce a documentary, Class Dismissed in Swat Valley, showcasing her determination to continue her education against all odds. As the Taliban's deadline loomed, Malala's classroom was filled with journalists capturing the tense, last day of school, documenting a pivotal moment in history. That day, Malala realized the profound impact of her voice and courageously shed her pseudonym, revealing her identity as a young activist determined to fight for the right to education. At merely 9 years old, Malala stood resilient, intent on confronting tyranny and sharing her truth with the world. Her resolve and bravery symbolized the power of standing up for one's beliefs, inspiring global recognition and dialogue surrounding education and human rights. Malala's mission unfazed. Malala stood as a beacon of humility despite becoming an international icon. Accustomed to excelling in school, she now found herself on a global stage, nominated for numerous prestigious awards and winning several. In October 2011, she became one of 5 nominees for the International Peace Prize from Kids' Rights, an organization dedicated to children's rights. Though she did not win, Malala's resolve remained unshaken. She continued advocating for crucial changes, emphasizing the work that still lay ahead. Shortly after, Malala spoke at an event in Lahore, earning $4,500 in recognition of her tireless efforts for girls' rights and subsequently winning Pakistan's inaugural National Peace Prize during a ceremony at Prime Minister Gilani's residence. Undaunted by political power, she boldly presented the Prime Minister with demands, including building a girls' university in Swat. The acclaim brought journalists eager to tell her story, but Malala remained focused on her mission rather than personal recognition. By year's end, Malala had amassed $20,000 from her awards. Although she kept some for her family, she devoted most of it to founding an education initiative, determined to ensure every girl in Swat had access to schooling. Organizing a conference of 21 local girls, she strategized to prevent the desperate scenes of young girls scavenging for food. Yet, her growing fame also made her a larger target for the Taliban, underscoring the peril intertwined with her trailblazing path. Malala's unyielding courage. Despite the army's claims of clearing Swat of the Taliban, danger loomed ominously over Malala's young life. In 2009, military operations forced her family to become internally displaced, wandering Pakistan for 3 months. Officially, the Taliban had been expelled, yet many merely retreated to mountain hideouts. Their persistent menace was palpable, with schools destroyed and foreign aid workers tragically killed. Key figures like Fazlullah remained at large, continuing their influence covertly. In 2012, at just 15, Malala faced her first public death threat. During a school renaming ceremony held in her honor, journalist Shaila Anjum revealed the chilling news to her and her father. Although Malala initially brushed off the threat, law enforcement saw it seriously, suggesting bodyguards for her protection. Malala, doubting their effectiveness, refused, citing the assassination of the Punjab governor by his own guard as a grim reminder of miraculous survival. On a fateful October day in 2012, Malala Yousafzai's life nearly ended but instead transformed dramatically. As a brave advocate for girls' education, she regularly faced threats but remained undeterred. To ensure her safety, her mother insisted that Malala take a retrofitted truck with benches, a makeshift school bus, instead of walking. That afternoon, choosing the second bus of the day, Malala and her friends settled in for the ride home. As fate would have it, 2 men halted the vehicle near a military checkpoint, and one boarded the bus. Asking for Malala by name, he approached with a Colt .45 pistol and fired at her, striking fear and bullets into the heart of a movement. In a fortunate twist, Malala survived the attempt on her life. With swift intervention, she received initial care at a local facility before an army helicopter airlifted her to Peshawar's Lady Reading Hospital. A CT scan revealed a bullet lodged precariously close to her brain, prompting urgent decisions to be made. As her condition worsened, a neurosurgeon, Colonel Junaid, faced immense pressure about performing a risky procedure to relieve swelling caused by trauma. Despite advice to transport her abroad, Junaid took decisive action and operated, ultimately saving her life. Even with immediate danger averted, Malala's journey to recovery demanded expert medical attention, leaving her family and supporters in a state of hope against despair. Her miraculous survival became testament to her resilient spirit and a turning point in her fight for education, although the man who attempted to silence her voice was never captured. Malala's life-saving journey. As Malala's health rapidly declined, the international community rallied to provide the critical aid she needed. Facing life-threatening complications like disseminated intravascular coagulation, where her blood couldn't clot, Malala's condition worsened each day. With her blood pressure plummeting and kidneys on the brink of failure, expert intervention became urgent. Dr. Fiona Reynolds, an intensive care specialist from Birmingham Children's Hospital, urgently assessed Malala's situation at Lady Reading Hospital in Peshawar. Finding the local facilities severely lacking, without even running water, she orchestrated Malala's transfer to the Armed Forces Institute of Cardiology in Rawalpindi. This move offered some hope of stabilization, but the following 72 hours would prove critical. Recognizing the need for specialized care, a decision was made to transfer Malala to Queen Elizabeth Hospital in the UK, where Dr. Havid Kayani, another of her doctors, worked. Known for treating soldiers with similar injuries, the hospital was well equipped for her needs. However, getting Malala to the UK posed significant diplomatic hurdles. Fearing political controversy and damage to national pride, the Pakistani military was reluctant to allow transport by a foreign military due to circulating CIA operative rumors. The government was also wary of granting a request that might imply weakness or result in asylum applications by her family. In the midst of these tensions, the United Arab Emirates offered a lifeline with a private jet, ensuring Malala could reach the safety and care available in Britain. This international collaboration not only saved Malala's life but also empowered her to continue her courageous fight for education and equality. Unwavering Resolve. Even when faced with daunting challenges, Malala's dedication to education rights remains unshaken. Surviving a life-threatening attack was only the beginning of her battle. The damage to her facial nerve left Malala with a compromised smile and uncertain speech abilities. However, through numerous surgeries and relentless physiotherapy, she triumphed, regaining full control over her facial muscles and voice. Her primary concern during recovery was less about her appearance and more about preparing for her exams. Transitioning to life in England brought its own set of hurdles. Malala had to adapt to a new culture while being distanced from her friends and haunted by the traumatic shooting. On her 16th birthday, she delivered a powerful speech at the United Nations, advocating for universal free education. Although her message resonated globally, reaction in Pakistan was surprisingly muted, with many casting doubts on her authenticity. Accusations ranged from fame-seeking to fabrications about her stance on cultural practices. Social media was rife with skepticism, and critics, including government officials, labeled her derogatorily, questioning her motives as aligned with foreign interests. Undeterred by the backlash, Malala drew strength from her belief in the justice of her mission. She established the Malala Fund, dedicated to investing in children's education worldwide. Her relentless pursuit of educational freedom continues to inspire and drive significant efforts for change.
Malala Yousafzai's story is a powerful testament to the impact one voice can have against overwhelming odds. Her advocacy for education amid the Taliban's tyranny is not just a tale of personal courage, but also a broader call to action for universal educational rights. Despite facing life-threatening challenges, Malala's resolve only strengthened, leading her to become a global symbol of resistance and hope. Her journey emphasizes the necessity of education as a transformative tool and encourages us to reflect on the social and cultural dynamics that impede it. By establishing the Malala Fund, she extends her mission, ensuring that her voice continues to resonate worldwide. Her journey is a powerful reminder that education is a right, not a privilege, and calls us all to support the cause of educational empowerment.